So as you can see, there are some differences between being a tax resident in Spain and if you are not a tax resident in Spain. And let's have a quick look at what the differences are. So we've been quickly touching upon them before already. So if you are a tax resident, you can have, for example, with the long-term contracts, you can get the discount on the rentable and taxable income, and you can also deduct expenditures for your property. Okay, so this is not applying on the midterm and short-term contracts. Now, what are the differences between then being a resident not in Spain but being a resident in Europe, which also a lot of our investors are? Then it changes a bit. However, as a resident in Europe, you're still then part of the scheme that you are starting at 19% and hiring the percentages or the skills that you're in based on the income, the rentable and taxable income that you're earning. However, being a resident in Europe, so outside of Spain, still in Europe, you can still deduct any expenditures that you're having for your property. Okay, so if we go back to the example, the 12K, you can still then deduct the 2K of expenditures for your property. Okay, so the discount is not applying to people that are living in Europe. Okay, so the discount of your taxable rental income with the 60% or based on a new housing law that can be different, that is only applying for people that are living in Spain and not for people that are resident in Europe. The only thing is the expenditures for the property. Now, if you're then not a resident of Spain, not a resident of Europe, but a resident of other continents in the world, which we also have a lot of investors for, then the things are changing a little bit. So you're not starting at 19% and scaling up just basing on the amount of rental income you're earning. No, you're starting at a fixed rate of 24%, and no matter the income that you're earning with the amount of portfolio you're having, you're always staying at the 24%, which is interesting, right? Because in the beginning, you will be paying more. You're not paying the 19%, but at one point, if you're earning a lot more, if you're building a big portfolio, then always staying at 24% can be very beneficial for you as an investor. Now, you're staying in that flat rate, you cannot deduct any expenditures for your properties, and you can also not apply for discounts on your taxable rental income. Okay, so the only difference is you start and you stay with 24%. There's no discounts, there's no deductions. However, this can be still interesting because if you're building up your portfolio and always staying in a flat rate of 24%, that is kind of doable. And some people are adjusting their investing strategy using this amount and this way of setting it up.